Hey, welcome back to Completely Off the Rails. For those of you who've been here before, you guys, you know what's up. But babe, for the new listeners, you want to tell them what we're all about here?
Sure. We are a weekly podcast that discuss different topics, focusing mainly, well, as you say, mainly on stupid, petty arguments, but some of them are more serious in nature. Sometimes we get submissions from listeners who are dealing with problems and want us to give our opinion. And sometimes we get submissions from people that want us to check out internet sites, which I swear is always Reddit. And we get asked about those, but we love Reddit. We love Am I the Asshole on Reddit. Like we could do a whole podcast on that, which sometimes we do.
Yeah. We could do the controversial topics too, but I don't know how much we could get into those.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get canceled.
Right. But hey, make sure you guys go out there and check out cotrpod.com. It's got everything you need from social media, merch, show submissions. I always fuck that up. We need to change that wording. I always mess it up. Stuff to submit to the show so we can talk about it. And like we said a couple podcasts ago, we promise we won't be assholes when we're talking about your stuff. We promise ish. You can also, there's a link to Patreon out there as well. Bunch of cool stuff, extras out there. One thing we did also want to mention is we also have a true crime podcast. It is called Fiendish Fairy Tales. I hate true crime. Can't stand it. But every fucker in the world out there seems to love it. So we jumped on the train. No, Candace loves it, and we were doing it one way, but we did a cold case, and that shit blew up. So fucking cold case is what we do now.
Well, I keep trying to tell him that, you know, true crime should be about the victims and cold cases. Like those are what should be featured,
Mhm.
because who knows? I mean, people listen to our podcast from all across the world. I mean, we don't have thousands and thousands of listeners. We're not fucking crime junkie or small town murder yet. Okay, yet.
Yeah.
But we do still have people all across the country. So, well, the world, but who
Mhm.
knows? I mean, like the Tyler Davis thing, we have people in Ohio that listen. So, how do we know somebody's not going to hear it and be like, oh shit, that's that guy I saw? You
And
don't know.
you know what? One of and actually the biggest number of listeners in Ohio is in Columbus, where that
Oh,
happened.
wow.
Yeah. So, and then if you live in the Birmingham area or Alabama, or you just want to hear about, you know, the city that we live close to and how fucking dangerous it is, the most recent episode on Fiendish Fairy Tales, I just talked about the crime rate and how many murders there have been,
Man.
and that we are very high in the nation on murder per capita. So there's some
Yeah.
interesting stuff out there. But starting this week, it's just going to be cold cases all the time, and then I am going to solve them.
Okay, sure. We'll see how that goes.
But anyway, back to this podcast. Cotrpod.com. Go out there. It's got everything you need.
Awesome. A few warnings. We both have severe ADHD, and I mean like severe, like off the charts. Like I remember taking the assessment, and the lady's like, "Yeah, this is like severe ADHD."
Yeah,
So,
like 3 pills a
uh,
day. Like 3 pills a
yeah,
day, ADHD. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So staying on track is legit impossible. We go in every direction while answering the questions, which is why we are called completely off the rails.
Yeah. And hey, guys, we are in the comedy genre. So we're going to make jokes about a lot of stuff, all the stuff. It's all in good fun. Sometimes I say shit that may offend you, and that's okay. Be offended, but we're all adults. Just get unoffended and move on. The next thing will be funny. Trust me.
Yeah. I mean, what we're trying to say is we may not be for you, and that's okay. Like, we don't give a shit. If we're not for you, we're not for you. Keep rolling through, you know? You gave us a shot. We had fun. You apparently did not. No hard feelings. So, we just all go about our separate ways, and you stay the fuck away from our podcast and our ratings. There's no need to, like, bring us down because you didn't like us.
Yeah.
We're just not your taste. I mean, you don't have good taste, is what I'm saying. And that's not our fault. Like, don't give me 1 star because you have shitty taste.
Oh, that's so true. I couldn't have said it better. But All right, babe. What are we talking about?
Okay, so I think both of ours tonight are from Reddit, oddly enough, because I just pull whichever ones I see that seem interesting for the week. So the first one is am I the asshole for calling the police on my niece who stole my car? I mean, I feel like already I'm like, I would have called the police too.
Fuck yeah.
But let's hear the story. Okay, so um, female, 46 years old, says, I live on a farm with my husband and 2 kids. My brother, Dwayne, I don't know why people always give all these ages. I'm like, does it matter? Like, Dwayne's 38, in case y'all give a shit. I don't really know why that matters. But he has a daughter. We'll call her Emma, who is 15. My brother and his wife have always been very quick to compliment me on the behavior of my children. Angela, my sister in law, confides in me about Emma's troubles. She is very reckless, shoplifts, drinks, has an older boyfriend, and gets into fights at school. She's also constantly suspended in and out of school. I don't really understand what that means. Are they talking like the in-school suspension or whatever?
Yeah. In the part where you said suspended in school suspension. Yeah, it's that.
Bitch. Okay. I don't understand this in-school suspension. Like, it should be extra shit or something. I don't know. Think of him like this. Like, give him detention. Whatever the fuck happened to detention?
And that's pretty much what it is. It's all day detention. They just don't get to go to their normal classes, and they don't get
That's
to.
what detention's in addition to school, like after school.
Yeah.
ISS is during school, which means these fuckers are getting out of classes they didn't want to go to anyway.
They're still decking
How
the
is
boys.
that hard?
Do you want to go pick? If our kid was doing this, do you want to go fucking pick him up when he could just ride the bus home?
No, but when I did
Okay.
counseling at that juvenile facility, I had to sit in there with those ISS kids sometimes, and they didn't do shit. And they were just happy to be out of their regular class. They would be trying to get ISS. They didn't give a shit. So it's whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's different places.
Well, Emma apparently switches between the two, so.
Yeah. So over the summer, Emma had a run in with the law, and they were told that if she did not straighten up her act, she would end up in prison. I mean, that's drastic. I would say jail, but
Well,
maybe that's.
I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, juvie. Okay.
Yeah. They were suggested and tried therapy, but Emma would never participate. Dwayne asked me if I would take Emma and teach her some responsibility. The arrangement was that I would take Emma for the final month of summer, enroll her in school here, and keep her for the first semester. If all went well, she was welcome to stay with us. Otherwise, other options will be explored, those of which are unknown to me. Emma did not do well all through July, so we're already off to a shitty start with Emma. Oh, goodness. Her boyfriend drove over to visit her, to my dismay. I tried to make him leave, but it caused some backlash, so I figured I would set visitation, then wean her time from him more and more. Then I caught her smoking one of those electronic cigarettes twice. She would never do any of the work I asked, would talk back, steal food, break things, and would be rude to my children. All of that could be dealt with. I knew that once school came around, she needed to be more disciplined, so one morning we got into an argument because I told her I was chaining up the fridge. I mean, I've already read this, so I get where she's going, but it sounds funny. And that she better act right, or else she would be forced to scavenge for food around the farm and cook it herself. I mean, damn, I'm with her.
Yeah, I like that. I
Yeah,
like it. Yeah.
like, I like that shit. If she doesn't want to contribute, she gets nothing the household has worked for. She was livid, throwing stuff, stomping her feet, making rude gestures. My son and I left to go tend to the animals' morning duties and told her that she better catch up to get some chicken tonight or start preparing to pick vegetables for herself. Right? After an hour of work, I sent my son back home to get me a change of pants due to a fall. He came back asking me if Dad had taken my car. We quickly realized Emma had stolen the car. Not only that, but she did not have a license, only a permit. I mean, it doesn't matter. You know, like she's stolen cars, the main objective here. Like, that's the main thing.
She's 15, so obviously she doesn't have a license. So yeah.
Yeah. I did what any reasonable person would do in this situation and called the police. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
They found
that's
her
right.
2 hours later and arrested her, saying she was to be charged with a misdemeanor for driving without a license and I believe joyriding. My brother and his wife are furious with me. They told me, quote, she steals our cars all the time and always brings them back, unquote, which that would have been good information for me to know beforehand. My family is siding with them that calling the police when knowing she would be arrested was an asshole move. Just to tack this on so I don't have to reiterate this to everyone who comments about the fridge, that was more or less an empty threat. If it came to it, though, I can't say I would have totally ruled out as crossing the line. Also, about stealing food. Part of what I do is bake and sell what I make at a farmer's market nearby. She would take cakes, pies, and other pastries I would make and eat them herself. I would make some little versions for the kids, but she would take the whole portion meant for sale and eat it herself and throw away the extra. She would throw away 3/4 of a cake. Please note, we live on a vegetable farm. She has access to vegetables and fruits. When I say scavenge, I mean go outside and pick something to eat and cook. I'm not denying her food.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first of all, if they were going to get mad about you calling the cops on her stealing a car, the fuck they sent her to you for?
Right?
Like, they sent her to you because they knew they needed stricter stuff on her.
Look, if it was my niece, I would push for grand theft.
Yeah.
Like there wouldn't be joyriding. Like I would push for that. So my family can be as mad as they want. I'm gonna do her a favor. I mean, this girl's headed for prison anyway.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
she's not listening to anything.
and you got to think like if they live on a farm and their kids help them on that farm, their kids know what hard work is. So then you got this lazy ass bitchy teenager that just wants to pretend like nothing. I don't have any rules. There's no consequences, whatever. So you take that drastic of differences, and
Yeah.
I mean, I understand what they were trying to do, but there's no way you're going to get that girl to even somewhat come over to the hardworking side
The
at
thing
all.
is that it sounds like this mom has raised her kids from the very beginning to be respectful, hardworking
Hmm.
individuals. And it's very hard when someone sends you a 15-year-old and is like, here, get their shit together. Well, they're 15. You
Yeah,
can't decide to start parenting at 15.
yeah.
I mean, you got to undo all that shitty parenting you've done. Like, you should have started this shit when they were little.
Well, and there's no undoing it. I mean,
Yeah.
there are some things, and you know as a therapist, I mean, there's just some things that kid is who she is. I mean, there's no amount of parenting or anything else. There's just some things that she's just going to do forever. And it sounds to me like she's just going to be a burden on society.
Well,
I
this
mean,
is why I don't work with young kids anymore, and I will straight refer out a teenager if there's an issue with the parents. But that's the problem. When you have kids that you work with, most of the time it's the parents that are the issue. And they don't want to hear that. They want to bring a kid to you and they're like, here, fix them. And it's like, okay, but it's your parenting that has shaped this child. So I can say whatever I want to say during this hour every week, but that's not going to do shit if you go home and screw it up. So, like with this girl, I wouldn't call her a lost cause. She's 15. The thing is, though, is that she needs to know there are consequences for her actions. And clearly, mom and dad would not have given her consequences. Because had it been their
mhm.
car she stole, they wouldn't have done shit. Because, quote, she brings them back. Who gives a shit if she brings them back?
Yeah, it sounds to me like mom and dad sent their kid to their brother or sisters so that they didn't have to deal with it anymore because
Mm-hmm.
they didn't want them to actually do anything. They just wanted to not have to deal with her shit. So the first time they did what they should have done, which is call the police, fuck yeah, call the police. Because who knows if did she take the car or did her boyfriend come and kidnap her in that car? I mean, I know we know the answer to that, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it could have been anything. So fuck yeah, you call the cops. And
yeah.
then when the cops are like, "Oh, it's a misdemeanor." No, fuck that. How do we make it a felony? because she's 15. Make that shit a felony. Make her spend some time in juvie. It'll fall off when she's 18 or 19 or whatever. It's not going to ruin her life. But that's the only way that might get her back on track to where she needs to be. Is like there comes a point in time when you're just like, you just got to not write him off, but you got to make him think you are. Just be like, just go to juvie. I'll see you when you get out. You want to act like
It's
this?
just,
Fuck it. I've given you every option. Beat it. I don't have time for this shit.
I think it's just lazy parenting when it comes to this stuff because it's easier. I mean, think about it like with little kids. It's so easy to give in and let them have what they want. Like when you have a toddler and they're kicking and screaming, it's so easy just to give the shit back to them that you took
Mm,
away because then they shut up. But what does that teach them? You know, like when our kids were 2 and 3, if they threw a fit, we got up and walked the fuck out of the store.
mm,
Like,
yeah,
we were just like, okay, well, when you can act properly, we'll go back. Like,
yeah,
if we were in an event, we just left.
yeah.
And it was always, you're choosing to act this way. When you choose to get it together and you can calm down and you want to behave appropriately, then we can go back.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people choose the easier option, which is just let him do what they want.
I just don't understand like why are people so easy on their kids? It's like you're if you don't want to call the cops on your kid for when they're doing stuff that's this illegal. I mean, it's not like, they snuck out of the house or did that dumb teenage shit that everybody does, or they got caught smoking a cigarette or something like that. Like typical bad teenage shit, like that's stuff everybody deals with, most everybody. But I mean, you're talking like this is breaking the law. And if you
Mhm.
don't get that shit under control when they're a minor, um, it's going to be a whole lot harder as a parent to have to go visit your child in prison than it is to call the cops and at least have them spend some time in juvie. Yeah, that's not fun. And I'm sure that there's also the issue of if you do that, other parents are, and let's just say moms, because that's who it is. Other moms are gonna be like, I can't believe that she would do that to her child. I I can't believe you wouldn't. If
Believe it, bitch, it's
yeah,
happening.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah, believe it. You can go see it. Visitations on Sunday from 2 to 4. Like that's when you can go see. Like you have to like if your kid is that out of control, you have to match that out of control with the
mhm,
consequences. It's not some fucking you're grounded for a week. What is that going to do? She's going to fucking leave anyway.
mhm,
You need to put her in a place that where somebody has just doesn't care about her as a father or mother. Just a corrections officer does not give a shit. All
yeah,
they care about is making sure you go to where you're supposed to go to all day. And that's all they care about. And that's what she needs because nothing else is working.
yeah,
And and
because
and how do you get mad at the people you send her to?
I know,
Fix
that
my
is
kid, but
kills
not that
me.
way. Fix my kid, but I'm going to tell you how to do it. Well, you're not doing a bang up job, bitch. So I'm going to do what I need to do.
Like, their whole thing was teach her responsibility and get her back on track. Did you think just talking real sweet and nice to her was gonna do that? Like,
Right?
what did you think was gonna do that? I feel like you clearly sent her to your sister because you knew your sister was very strict.
Hmm.
So, how is it the first time she gets strict, you blow a gasket?
Yeah. And don't think for a sec like I would. If I was like, hey, you are not going out with your boyfriend, because obviously he's well over 18. So
Mhm.
the first time I said, you're not going, and she left with him, I'd call the cops and say she got kidnapped. I'd be
Yeah,
like,
or report her as a runaway.
yep. I'd be like, look, he kidnapped her. My niece has been kidnapped. This is the car that they're in. And yeah,
There are
then
things that's the thing, there are things that can be done, but people don't wanna do it because it's time consuming, and it's a
yeah,
headache, and it is a headache. But, I mean, like, in Alabama, they have a CHINS order, which is a child in need of supervision. If you cannot control your child, they will not stay home. You feel like because parents say all the time, "Well, what do you want me to do? I can't do anything. I mean, I don't have any authority." And to an extent, I get that because shit, nowadays, you spank your kid at all and people are threatening to call DHR on you.
right.
So, it's like And then the school, all they do is talk about, you got rights. They ain't got no fucking rights in this house. They got the
Yeah.
right to breathe and eat. That's
Yeah,
it.
you got the right to do what you're fucking told.
Yeah,
That's your right.
this is a
Yeah.
damn dictatorship in this
Yeah.
bitch. But so, parents say all the time, well, I don't, there's nothing I can do. Yes, you can. I mean, if you can't get them to go to school, you can't get them to stay home, they keep running away, you go and file a Chin's order with the court. And the court gives them a probation officer because apparently
Mm.
they are in need of supervision from someone in the court system. And most of the time, that scares them enough that they're like, oh my God, I better get my shit together because this is real. My mom ain't fucking around no more. But if that doesn't work, the first time, second time they break any of the rules, then they go to juvie.
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean, the problem is people don't want to have to, fill out all the forms and take it to the courthouse and deal with all the court stuff. And it's like, okay, well, just let your kid be a hassle to society, I guess. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, and like they said, I mean, she doesn't contribute anything to the house, but she takes things from it. I mean, she's just going to be a drain on society. Like there are programs out there for people who actually need them. People that, are in a financial situation temporarily, or there's some things that went on in their life that they're having to live off the system for a little bit while they're trying to get, back
yeah.
to where they need to be. But there's a fuck ton of people that are just milking the system.
But no, you're definitely not an asshole for that. I would have called the cops
No,
too.
fuck
And
yeah,
if your family has a problem with that, okay, well, don't send her to my house. Don't
right?
send her to me expecting me to help get her shit together and then have a problem with how I do it.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
yeah, yeah. You can't. Yeah, you can't say, like I'm going to send her to you, but I want you to do the exact same things I'm doing, but you fix her.
Mhm.
Okay, no, that's not going to work.
Yeah, because
I
my thing
mean,
is, what were you doing so well that you had to send her to me? Clearly, what you're doing is not working out.
yeah.
So,
And that's the reason I say that she didn't send her there to fix her. She sent her there so they didn't have to deal with her. Because if they wanted her fixed, they wouldn't give a shit what they did to her, as long as they weren't, physically abusing her or anything else like that. As long as everything was legal, what they were doing to her, then they would have been all right with it. So
yeah.
for them to get mad because he did, or the uncle, aunt, uncle, or whatever did what the parents wouldn't do, and then they got pissed off about it. That just tells me they just didn't want to deal with her, and they're just trying to pawn her off until
Mhm.
she's old enough to leave the house, and they don't have to deal with her anymore. They don't want to fix her; they just want to get rid of her.
Mhm. And here's my thing too, like, I don't care, this is not even a matter of whether or not we agree on what you would do. She stole my damn car. Like,
Right?
this is a fucking car that I pay a car payment on every month. And I pay that with money that I work my ass off for. So nobody's going to just get in my fucking car and drive the hell off with it without it being
Mm-hmm.
reported stolen. You don't get to just take my damn car. Nobody
Well,
does.
well, and think about it. I mean, if they're in farming, right? Farmers typically don't make a ton of money. I mean, they have to bust their ass for everything that they get. So imagine if their car's paid off, and this chick steals their car, totals it, and
Mm,
then even if they have, even if their insurance covers it, what if now they got to go out and get another car that comes with a car payment?
yeah.
No, what I would do is, if that happened, I'd sue my family.
Yeah, for sure. In a
Ange,
heartbeat.
Ange Clayton, if you guys have a kid and they ever steal my car and they total it, I'm suing your ass. You paying me. I don't give a shit, family or not. You badass kid, and get them under control, or else you're going to court.
Well, at least if, on my side, if our niece Haley stole it, we would not have to worry about her wrecking because she drives like 10 miles an hour. So
Yeah, that is true. That is true. You can just run after
we
her to
could
catch
run
her.
and catch her. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
just
my
saying. I
goodness.
mean, there's so many things that could go wrong. So if you don't like what your kid's doing and you send them somewhere else, then you just need to let it go. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
she's
mean,
lucky. A misdemeanor, that's it.
you can't ask somebody to help you and then get angry and complain about the way they do it. My thing is, If you're asking me for help, then you don't get to dictate how I'm going to help you. You know,
Hmm.
you asked for it, so let me do it. Like, you don't get to tell me how I should be doing it. Because if you knew how to do it any better than I did, why the fuck are you sending her to me?
Yeah, and like you, they weren't even gonna say you're not allowed to see this older boy. Like they said they were gonna start weaning her time off. Taking time. You can see him for 4 hours and then three and then two. So it wasn't even like they were so strict. They were like, no, you're not going with him. They were even like, okay, we understand that we just can't go nuclear immediately and take everything away. So
Yeah,
they had a system for what they were going to do. And they were like, but fuck no, you stole my car. So, no, there's one solution for that. And that's the cops. Because what else do you
exactly.
do? What else do you do when she comes
Yeah.
home?
I
Don't
mean,
do that again. Don't do
no
that again.
more.
Yeah. Let's get the fuck out of here.
So, no, definitely,
No.
definitely not an asshole. This
Yeah.
kid needs,
Sue your family for pain and suffering. That's what you need to do.
right? Okay,
Ridiculous.
so second one, same thing. Reddit, am I the asshole? This one is, I mean, hilarious to me. It's hilarious. So, am I the asshole for accusing my girlfriend of weaponized incompetence? First of all, I love the phrasing weaponized incompetence. I love it.
Weaponized incompetence,
Yes, I love it so much.
like she's a relationship terrorist.
Yeah. So, he's 31, his girlfriend's 28, and they've been dating for 4 years. He says he purchased his first home last year and they moved in together. However, she's not on the title and doesn't pay anything towards the mortgage. So basically, he buys a house, she's living with him. She's in grad school, works part time, so she simply doesn't have that kind of money right now. She does help pay for utilities and groceries, but that's pretty much it. Honestly, I think she's getting a pretty sweet deal. I do, however, expect her to do chores around the house. I mean, I don't really like the way he phrased that, expecting her to
Chores,
do chores,
chores.
but I mean, ooh, I don't really like the way he
Do
said
your
that, but
do your chores and wash up for supper. Like,
yeah, right? That's kind of,
yeah, okay.
yeah. I mean, I guess if he's working and she's not working, then she would pick up the slack. But she's in grad school, so
Yeah, I remember what it was like when you were in grad school.
yeah,
You were working your ass off. You didn't have a job, but you were in grad school. That was your job, and you were busting
yeah,
your ass. And so I picked up. I did whatever I needed to do. Like,
yeah. So the whole
and
chore thing, not cool with that.
yeah, and she's getting a pretty sweet deal. You've been together for how many years? 4. You just bought a house, and like, I'm sure the subject of grad school came up before she just went out and did it. So, I mean, you should have known that there was going to be some trade-offs. Like, yeah, okay, she still works a part-time job too.
Yeah,
But all right, continue, please.
yeah. She was brought up in a very sheltered environment. She's the youngest of 4 siblings, and in my opinion, her parents babied the crap out of her. Her dad, in particular, did everything for her. When we first started dating, she was still taking her car to him so that he could bring it in for oil changes. Since she's moved in with me, there's definitely been a learning curve. I had to teach her how to clean and do dishes. She didn't know that you can't just put absolutely everything in the dishwasher. Cooking is a hard no from her, and she's perfectly fine ordering out for every single meal. She's never used a rake, a lawnmower, or shoveled snow. I like to think I've been very patient with her in regard to teaching her these things, but pretty much everything I try to teach her is met with resistance or is, quote, too hard or, quote, too dirty, and she gives up and expects me to do it. I've let a lot of this go because I love her and I know that a lot of this is her parents' fault, not hers. But last weekend, I finally had it. I had to go visit my parents to help my dad with a project he's working on. This had been arranged for weeks, so my girlfriend knew about it. Before I left, I asked her if she could mow the lawn at some point during the weekend because it was getting long, right? Like, why'd you ask her to mow the lawn? That's where you start with
Really?
this?
Really? That's
Oh,
that's what you start with? Okay. She
it,
never handled a rake, but we're gonna have you cut the grass. All right, sure. That's ambitious.
it was literally the only thing I asked her to do. When I got home on Sunday, the lawnmower was in the middle of the half mown yard. I, are you making fun of the way I just said that?
No, 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 no. I'm
Oh,
laughing. I could just picture her like cutting the grass and being like, "Fuck this," and just leaving
right.
it there and walking in.
It says, I asked her what that was about, and she said that it ran out of gas and she didn't know what to do. She, she said she called her dad for help, but he's out of town, and he told her to fill a tank up at a gas station, but she didn't know where the tank was or how to fill the lawnmower. So she just left everything as it was so that I could help her. I told her I was tired of her acting like she's completely incapable of figuring stuff out on her own. I told her it's ridiculous that she can watch a 5-minute YouTube video of a new makeup technique and figure it out the first try, but she can't figure out how to pour gas into a lawnmower. I told her I'm tired of her weaponized incompetence, and if she's not going to pull her weight on chores, then she's going to have to start paying rent to live here. She got defensive and told me I shouldn't be treating her like she's a servant and expecting her to do things she's never done before, and that I'm an asshole for expecting her to pay rent when I know she can't afford it, and she won't help me pay my mortgage and get nothing out of it. That's. Oh, sorry. Okay. There. That was the end of it. Sorry.
Okay, first,
A little color coding situation got a little hectic on my outline here. Sorry.
first, the problem is he's got a father-daughter relationship with her, not in a
Yeah.
nasty sexual type. No, no, he's teaching her things. Not
Hmm.
what teaching her things, and really like okay, let's pretend that this is a difficult thing to do, putting gas in a lawnmower. Let's pretend it's not, but let's pretend. You can still pull the bitch into the garage. I mean, you don't have to leave that thing just sitting out in the middle of the yard.
Yeah.
Like, really? And here's the thing with cooking. You don't have, like, she can learn very easily. What you do is you cook what you're going to eat, and then she figures the shit out. What is she going to have for dinner? Whatever she figures out. I mean, like, if you didn't learn it while you were at home, you're gonna have to learn it sometime. So yeah, and I'm with him on the whole makeup tutorial. Like,
Yeah.
okay, just fucking Google how to put gas in a lawnmower. There you go, done. I mean, it's
This
just a
is
matter of
one that
she's
we
just too
should have had.
lazy.
This is one that we should have had Clayton and Ange on because I feel like this was probably them because your dad, I mean, Ange is his baby. So I wonder how much of this stuff she didn't know how to do. Like put gas in her car.
You know, I will say, I will say that my sister is pretty spoiled, and you know, I don't want to say she's lazy. She works hard, but she doesn't know how to do some shit. But my dad did make her learn some things.
Yeah.
Like, her first car was um, manual. And for you younger kids out there, that means you have a clutch. There's
Oh,
three pedals that you have to use when driving. Just Google it if you don't know what it is. I remember they bought us our first cars. And I remember she hearing a story about her coming home and the cars in the driveway. She's all excited, and then
yep.
she opens the door and she's like, "What? Well, I can't drive this." My
I
dad's like,
remember her
You gonna
telling
learn?
me that. Yeah.
You gonna learn?" But
Oh.
I didn't see her bitch ass out there pushing a lawnmower, and I guarantee she doesn't know how to do it now either.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I mean, this is the girl that locks herself out of her own house in the middle of winter in Minnesota with nothing on but what, like shorts and a long sleeve shirt, locked herself out of her own house. What, her husband's out of town and she can't get back in the house. And what, she had to like break in, and now like I don't know if it's the door or the window doesn't sit right in the house now because she doesn't know how to not lock herself out of the house. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe my dad should have done more for her. And oh, you know what? She doesn't cook either.
But here's my thing. Why does she need to cook? Not all women know how to cook. Not all women enjoy cooking. I hate to cook. I cook because I like to eat. So, you know,
I think you just answered your question. That's
but
why
I
you learn to
mean,
cook, because you like to eat.
not everybody enjoys cooking and not everybody wants to learn how to cook. So, if it works for her ordering out,
Okay,
Now, if
fair.
it comes down to a money situation and, hey, we
Yeah.
can't, like, listen, I mean, that's, I think, a big situation with that. They should have been
Hmm.
discussing, like, a budget. Like, hey, all that I need you to pitch on in is utilities and groceries. But in order for you to be able to do that, we need to be able to not eat out all the time
Yeah.
because we can't
Yeah.
afford to do that on the budget we have. And if we're going to buy groceries and cook, then I'm going to need your help with this. But I mean, you're probably going to have to teach her like she doesn't just know how to cook.
But here's the thing, like you teaching her how to cook, teaching her how to do things. Okay, all right, fine. That's not a problem. But it's when it's too difficult, or you realize that it's something she doesn't want to do, and she's just pretending that she doesn't want to, she can't learn and all that. Then that's an issue because you can make, teaching her how to cook, you can make that fun. You can make that something you do as a couple and all that. But if she's going to act like she doesn't know how to do it, or she doesn't remember this or that, or what, no, she's got to go. She's got to go. Because, I mean, what is she in grad school for? I mean, she can figure that out. And
Yeah.
she can't figure out, like, I mean, I know you made fun of me when we got together because, like, I followed directions. Okay. I
Yeah.
followed directions on cooking, and you laughed your ass off at me when I measured the water for macaroni and cheese. That box said 8 fucking cups of water. It got 8 fucking cups of water in that pot.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness, that was funny to me.
Okay. But you know what? I was cooking.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
I mean, it's macaroni and cheese, so let's not get excited. But I'm a damn good cook now. So, but I
Yeah.
mean, just learn. There's instructions on everything. It's called a recipe. It'll tell you everything you need and exactly how to do it. I just like she's just being lazy.
Yeah. I mean, my thing is like if if she doesn't know how to do stuff, but you show her and then she does it, okay, you can't really get ill about having to show her because she doesn't know. But the fact that he's saying he's showing her and she's like, "Oh, it's too hard, it's too dirty." Okay, well then why ain't it too hard or dirty for my ass to do it? I
Hmm.
mean, like, you know, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's not okay for me to go in there and do it then.
Yeah. She sounds like the type of girl that should have found a rich dude to marry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just she doesn't want to have to do the hard stuff. And I don't want to say it's a millennial thing, but it's a millennial thing. She's the type that thinks that she's going to get this master's degree, and she's going to walk into whatever career, and then she's going to be like, okay, so where's my corner office? And
Yeah.
am I the CEO or am I the CFO? Which C am I?
Yeah.
You're at the bottom. That's where
Uh,
you are. You're gonna see yourself on the way up the ladder, not start at the top. I
yeah,
mean, like life's
that's
hard.
that's one of the things I work with teens on, like older teens, 16, 17 up, is life skills because it is amazing to me how many of these kids don't know how to cook anything. They don't know how to use the washer or dryer. They don't know how to call and make a they don't know how to call and make a doctor's appointment. Like, I have college age kids that their parents still make their appointments for them. So they don't even set their appointment before we hang up from that session. They don't make the next week's appointment. They're like, "Oh, my mom will call and make my appointment." I'm like,
Right.
"You're in your 20s. How are you serious right now?"
They can make it online, can't they?
Yeah, they could do that, but I guess their parents go online and do it. So
Jesus
we work
Christ.
on that. We work on life skills because I think that if I mean, we all want to do for our kids. We want them to have better than we had. We want to make life comfortable for them. But doing everything for them is handicapping them because the world does not give a shit about your baby. They're not their baby.
No.
So, okay, dad still takes her car in for oil changes. That's fine because it's not like anybody's getting out there and changing the oil. So, at some point, you know, she'll take them herself. She can take it herself for an oil change. But, if you are living in your own house that has grass that needs to be mowed, you need to figure out how to work the damn lawnmower. I mean, and like you said, at the very least, if you couldn't figure it out, pull the bitch back in the garage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, it's not hard. It's this shit's hilarious to me. It's so, like I, she and like obviously she doesn't want to learn because like he said, weaponized incompetence. That's hilarious to me.
That is, I love that.
I mean, but I don't know. I don't know. Like I remember I was 11, I think, and staying home alone because you could do that in the 80s and
Yeah.
90s. But I wanted to make a cheesecake, and it wasn't like one of those real ones. It was just one out of a box, but I wanted to make it, and my mom didn't tell me how to do it because she wasn't home. So I just took the box and I started making it. I learned a valuable lesson that day. When you are using the little mixer and not the $400 KitchenAid one, but the one that has the
Uh,
individual little beaters or whatever that you got to put in there. Just for anybody out there that doesn't know this, you have to turn that shit off before you pull it out of the batter. But I slung fucking cheesecake filling all
oh
over that kitchen.
gosh.
Shit it was on cabinets, it was on the ceiling, it was everywhere. But you know what?
Oh man.
I knew not to do that again.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, and yeah, that's not cutting the grass, but I was doing it at that age. I was cutting the damn grass. Shit, at 5, my grandfather had me out at 5 o'clock in the morning, fucking picking like vegetables and shit.
Right.
Like at 5. If I can figure
Yeah.
out at 5, you can figure out how to work a lawnmower at 28, sweetheart. I mean, like you can
Yeah.
do it. We got confidence in you.
Mhm.
It's me.
I think that if there are things in life that you don't want to do, then and this is something that you've said a million times, you've probably said it on here a million times. You don't want to go out and cut the grass. You've done 2 tours in Iraq. You've done your time in the heat. You're not cutting the fucking grass, so you pay somebody to come and do it.
Yeah.
They trim our hedges, they handle any tree mulch stuff we need,
Mhm.
they cut the grass, edge, weed eat, everything. Like we don't do any of that shit.
Yeah. That's how
But
that's how I measured being successful. It wasn't money. It was, what didn't I have to do? Okay, I hate doing this. So now I make enough. I don't have to do that anymore. And the ultimate one was cutting the grass. I fucking hate it. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. Like nothing more in the world. Like I would chop off a testicle before I had to cut the grass again. Like I fucking hate it. And
uh,
now I just pay somebody to do it every month. And
and
it's
see,
not
that's the
because
thing.
yeah.
It's completely fine for her if she gets through grad school and she gets a good job and she wants to pay to have somebody do these things. That is fine. But she's got to realize that until you get to a point where you're successful enough that you can pay someone to do these things, you don't live with mommy and daddy anymore. So you need to get your shit together
Mm-hmm.
because these things have got to get done. I mean, I don't think I
One
can handle that.
No, I think he's that relationship's not going to last.
As we like to say in the South, we'd have to have a come to Jesus meeting on this one.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and yeah, she's not going to be what he needs or wants. Because I mean, like, come on, you got to teach her like. And chores, using the word chores, like, could you imagine if we were laying in bed and I was like, babe, did you get your chores finished today? Like, yeah, I dug the hole that I'm gonna bury you in later. Yep, got that chore done. What the fuck, chores?
I tell people all the time in marriage counseling, if you get into a parent-child relationship, that is the death of a marriage. The death of it. You should
Yeah.
never, ever, ever get to a point in your marriage where one of you is parenting the other. Like, I had a fucking dad. I got a stepdad now. I got a mom. I don't need any more fucking parents. I'm parented out. I've met my quota. Like, I don't need another one. So, I'm a grown ass woman. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I don't need a fucking parent. Now, if I do something and it's a problem, bring it to my attention. But I don't need to be parented. And I don't parent you. And I tell you all the time, I can't stand people fucking nagging. So you do not have to worry about me nagging your ass. Because
Mhm.
I'm not doing it. I don't want anybody nagging me. I'm not gonna nag you.
You do emasculate me though.
The hell?
You do, because if something's broken around here, you just call my dad, and you're like, don't worry. I know you have no idea what you're doing, so I'll just call your dad.
I
He'll
don't
come take care of
immediately
it.
call him.
No, you don't immediately, but you're like, I'm fucking. I just got to hit one. I just got to hit call. That's all I got to do. I'm just waiting to do that.
I just
And then,
asked, like, do you need me to call your dad? Do you need me to check with him?
yeah, yeah. And you know what that's the equivalent of? Me saying, is there anything you need me to do for you when you're running late so we can leave? And when I'm like, is there anything you need? That's the same thing. So I know what you're doing to me. I know what you're doing. Fuck around. I'll rip that thing off the counter or off the cabinet that, that takes the lid off of jars that are too tight for you to,
Yeah.
I'll take that away.
I'll
You
just
can't
get
live
him to
without
put me
that.
another one up.
No, I'll change the locks. He ain't coming in. Like that. You're not getting another one.
Oh my gosh.
Just sit over there. You'll never have another pickle. You just sit over there fighting with it.
Oh my gosh. Oh Lord. Well, I think the bigger thing here is for people that are listening, if you have children, start teaching them shit. Teach them how to do shit. Like,
Yeah.
my son probably doesn't do the best job, but his ass does laundry. I mean, he
Yeah.
only does his laundry because I don't want him touching my shit. But,
Well,
you
he
know,
cooks quesadillas.
yeah. And
And I
he's
mean,
cooked us dinner before.
yeah, yes. And the only thing we say is don't burn down the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing we ask. Don't burn down the house. It doesn't matter. Every pot and pan can be dirty at the end of it, and he's got a fucking cheese quesadilla at the end. But
Yep.
if he makes it, hey, that's fine.
And when
And
he talks about money, we
oh,
were
for
like,
fuck's sake,
okay,
yeah,
we're going to get this app for you. It's got a debit card tied to it. You do your chores, money gets put onto the debit card. So here's your wallet, keep your card. You know what money you got, what money you don't got. You don't do the chores,
Mhm.
you don't got money.
Yeah. And that's the proper use of the word chores when a parent
Yeah.
is telling a child
Yeah.
chores. You know,
Exactly.
so it's yeah. And for fuck's sake, people, teach your children about money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, teach them how to save money. If they actually use checks when they get old enough, just because you have checks left over doesn't mean you have money. Okay, that doesn't mean you have money.
Lord.
Um, it
They'll
costs
be
money to use.
overdrawing the shit out of these
Right,
accounts.
right. The bank held on to all my checks until I didn't have any money, and then they cashed them. No,
Right.
fucker. When you wrote the check, you should have said, "Hey, I don't have money." Teach them how to invest. There's so
Mm-hmm.
many apps now I mean, shit. That's what I do. I use Weeble, which is just a simple app, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how I make a living now. I mean, teach them young. They don't have to be 18 to do that. They can invest their money now. Like,
Yeah.
teach them that shit. Because I mean, this country is going downhill quick. We're gonna have to make a change. I mean,
Yeah.
we gonna need some help. And if you guys keep pumping out these morons that don't even know how to cook, I mean, there's not gonna be much left.
Yeah, like we got a whole generation that knows how to organize a fucking march about something, but they can't cook. They can't
Yeah,
do their clothes. They can't put gas in a car. It's like, for fuck's sake, they need life skills. Like, I understand everybody's trying to be PC and you want to do your marches, and I'm all for that. Most of them, I'd probably march with you. I'm good with that. But learn how to do some normal shit. These kids need life skills.
yeah, but we are asking a lot when it's a generation we're trying to teach how to cook and how to manage their finances, and they're too busy eating Tide Pods.
Man,
So
these kids are so damn stupid. They are
I mean,
stupid. Like,
it,
I know, I look back sometimes, like I used to say, "Yeah, I wasn't that dumb. I wasn't that dumb." But when I really sit and think about it, I can think of stupid, stupid shit I did. Like my mom talking about, we don't have to go into what happened, but my mom talking about the pictures she found. I'd scratched out the faces and wrote stuff on there. Okay, that's 12-year-old me. How fucking petty and stupid was that? I mean, that's
no,
ridiculous. I
you
was
wrote whore.
embarrassed. Yeah,
You wrote whore next to her.
I was embarrassed about this yesterday. I was like, oh my God, 12-year-old me was so embarrassed. But so I get that. But we were eating Tide Pods.
Yeah.
Like, what the
Or
fuck?
or when he tells us the newest challenge is how long can you hold dry ice? Hey, guess what, dumb fuckers? 0 seconds is how long you can hold dry ice.
Or
These
we have
TikTok challenges.
$100 million school and they've torn everything out of the bathrooms to
Yeah.
include the sinks, stall doors, everything.
Yeah,
Because
because
it's
that
a
was a
TikTok
TikTok
challenge.
challenge.
It's like, hello, genius. It's your damn bathroom you're messing up, you stupid ass.
Yeah. I mean, we are. I guess we are asking a lot. If we can just get you dumbasses to stop eating Tide Pods and stop thinking you can just, hold dry ice. What Cam said, for an hour. That's the challenge. Hold dry ice for an hour. Sure, sure thing, buddy. Sure thing.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
I
Everything
guess,
on
I guess,
YouTube's not real. Okay.
right? Yeah, we need to wean them off of Tide Pods, and then I guess get them on to cooking and then money. But until the Tide Pods stop, I don't know what to do. I don't know.
Yeah. It's
But
sad that's still an issue. Still.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
for this one, he needs to get rid of her.
Well, I
Send her
don't
back
say
home.
immediately get rid of her, but I say have a serious discussion about some things that are going to need to change. And then if they don't change, then yeah.
Yeah,
Because the thing is,
just
at your house, you're paying the mortgage, so you're paying the majority of the bills. And I'm not paying for somebody to make my life more difficult. I'm sorry. Like, I'm
you
not
know,
paying no mortgage just for you to move in and make my life fucking miserable.
you know what he's gonna say next. As long as you're living under my roof, you'll follow my rules. It's like that's the next dad thing that's coming. I bet he loses his shit when she
Oh
touches
my
the
god.
thermostat.
Oh shit. Nuh-uh,
Touch the
man.
thermostat. You touch that fucking thermostat. But yeah, I mean, he need, so maybe not break up with her. Right? I guess when kids aren't acting the way they're supposed to, and you need to do something extra, you send them to boarding school. So maybe he needs to send her back home, and that's her boarding school. And then her parents can teach her what she should have already learned, and then she can come back and be an adult with him.
Oh
But
my
until then,
lord.
it's not gonna work out, bro. Not gonna
Yeah.
work out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm more harsh and open than a lot of people, so I probably would be harsh about it. But my thing would be, look, I'm paying the mortgage here. Like I'm not making this money thing, but this is my house. I do pay the mortgage. I didn't ask you to move in to make my life more difficult. So if you can't pull your weight around here, you're gonna have to cut a trail. Like I
Yeah,
don't know what
and
to
I
say.
didn't, and I didn't ask you to move in here so you could, just freeload. Like,
Yeah.
at least do
Like
something.
I also didn't ask you to move in here to be my housekeeper or any of that. Like, I'm not trying to take advantage of you. It's just, I kind of need you to help out around here and pretend like you can't do shit so you don't have to do it is not really fair.
Weaponized incompetence. That's the best thing I've heard in a while.
He should be like, start packing his stuff. We're going to have to leave. I couldn't figure out how to pay the mortgage.
I'm telling you though, just cook,
Ah,
do that for a little bit, for a week or two. Just cook your own food,
mm,
just enough for you. And then when she says, "What's for dinner?" you're like, "I don't know, whatever you make." Well, I don't
just
know how to
wash
cook.
something
What?
just for you. Wash a plate and one fork.
Yep, yep. Do just your
Yeah.
laundry. She'll learn real quick. She'll learn real quick. I mean, you probably break up, but at least she'll learn from the next person.
Could be, could be. But yeah, that is it for tonight.
Cool. Well, hey guys, make sure you go to our website, cotrpod.com. Like I said, you'll find all the stuff you need for Completely Off the Rails. And also, there is a link to Fiendish Fairy Tales, which is our true crime podcast, which we know you'll love because there is some humor in it. There's a little bit of banter, but never at the expense of the victims or their families because, I mean, who the fuck does that? Like, who makes fun of that shit? And, but, it is a little bit of back and forth with me and her like it is on this one, but still very respectful of the story in general. So we think if you enjoy this, you'll enjoy that as well. So make sure you go check that out.
Yeah. And it also has a spot for you to send in any submissions. So anything you want us to talk about or go over, be sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and leave comments. Like we always say, make sure to leave comments, even if it's just "I hate these people." But the comments are what affect the algorithm. So
Yeah, and I was looking at some things because I've been listening to other people's podcasts, and I noticed that like people do not have a problem going out there and writing a fucking novel when they can't stand a podcast or they don't like something about it, and they will just fucking trash this podcast. And it's like, why? Like you were saying, don't fuck up the podcast. So if haters can write that much, if you like it, just go out there 5 stars and be like, love it, or just 5 stars and be like, I'm just doing what I'm told. Or five, it'd be fucking hilarious. What I would love to see is like 5 stars and then people just saying, I did my chores. That would be fucking hilarious. Because it doesn't matter what you
Oh
write.
my
It
gosh,
doesn't
yeah.
matter what you say. It's just it's just for some reason the algorithm likes to see the words, the comments out there. So make sure you do
Yeah.
that. And as always, your settlements, guys. Stay content with them. You're going to need them later in life. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.